everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video is just a fun pattern that you can use up some leftover yarns and make something really pretty. We're calling this a pop of color skinny scarf, and we used 4 different colors to make it, and it's really easy. You're gonna love it, and you can make it as long as you want it or even shorter. So it's just a fun little pattern to whip up and use up some of your leftover yarns. Now if you make this according to the pattern, you're going to get about a 2-inch wide scarf and about a 42-inch long scarf. But of course you can make it as long as you would like it. You could make it super long and wrap it around your head a couple of times if you want to. It's just a great summer scarf to add a little pop of color to your outfits. Now you can find the crochet pattern with pictures on my blog, and as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make our fun pop of color skinny scarf, you need some medium weight number 4 yarns. Now I just grabbed 4 different colors. I've got like a lighter purple, a darker purple, a bright pink, and this sort of light pink. And I thought they would look really good for my summer outfits. And you can use any colors that you want to. You're only going to need a total of about 2 to 2.5 ounces. So it doesn't take very much yarn. These are all acrylics. You could do this in cotton if you want to, or any fiber that you have on hand. All right, so you need about 2 ounces, which is about a 1/2 ounce of 4 different colors. All right, so we're going to stitch with our eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You need a needle for weaving in ends, and you need a pair of scissors. Now go get in that yarn stash and see what colors you can put together. We're going to begin by making foundation double crochets. We're going to begin with about a 10-inch tail of yarn. All right, so we'll move up here and make our slip knot. And we need this tail of yarn because we're going to do this every time we add a color in order to make that tassel at the end of both ends of our scarf. All right, so there's my slip knot, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go in that 4th chain and pull up a loop. Yarn over and only go through that first loop. Yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over and go through the next 2. Now we'll go in that chain down here that we made, and then we'll finish our double crochet. And that's stitching the foundation double crochet stitches. And you're going to need to stitch 121 foundation double crochets. And the reason this is important is because this makes the chain and our double crochet at the same time. And it also makes a nice stretchy edge of our band for our scarf. All right, so yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over and only go through that first loop. Yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over and go through the next 2. That's the foundation double crochet. I'm not going to be stitching 121 today. I'm only going to stitch 21. If you want to add length, you can add more. If you want less length, you can add less stitches here, because this is going to be the length of our scarf. Okay, so I have stitched 21 foundation double crochets. You need to stitch 121 for the length of your scarf. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our yarn, leaving about an 8 to 10 inch tail of yarn. We're going to bring in our next color, and again we're going to leave out about an 8 to 10 inch tail of yarn, and I'm bringing in this light pink and chain 1. We're going to turn, make sure everything is all snugged down, those tails of yarn out of the way. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next. And this is the way that row 2 is worked. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. And you'll do this working all the way down the length of your skinny scarf. Then you'll single crochet in that last stitch. And that is the way that row 2 is worked. And again, your scarf's a lot longer, so you'll have a lot longer row. So now we're going to bring in the third color. And again, we're going to leave about an 8 to 10 inch tail of yarn. And we're going to cut and leave about an 8 to 10 inch tail of yarn from that color too. So I'll bring it in, those tails of yarn out of the way, and chain 1 and turn our work. We'll single crochet in the first single crochet and chain 1. Then we'll single crochet in the next single crochet and chain 1. And this is our repeat for row 3. Single crochet in the next single crochet and chain 1, working all the way down our scarf. And I love how it brings in different colors for different pops of color. Alrighty, now again, mine is much shorter because I'm doing a swatch, but you'll repeat that working all the way down, single crochet in the single crochet, chain 1, all the way down your row, and again you're going to cut your yarn, leaving an 8 to 10 inch tail. And these pieces that we're leaving long like this, they're going to be the tassels on the end of our scarf. Now we're going to bring in our fourth and final color. Again, leaving an 8 to 10 inch tail of yarn. Snug everything down and turn our work. We're going to single crochet in this first single crochet. And now we're going to shell stitch in the chain 1 space. And our shell stitch is just 3 double crochets. So 1, 2. After we've stitched our shell stitch, we're not going to stitch in the single crochet. We're going to go to the chain 1 space and stitch a single crochet. And we'll be working in the chain 1 spaces on this row. So we'll go to the next chain 1 space and stitch a shell stitch, which is 3 double crochets. Then we'll single crochet in the next chain 1 space. We'll go to the next chain 1 space and stitch our shell stitch, which again is 3 double crochets. Single crochet, shell stitch, and we'll repeat this working all the way down our scarf. And again, I'm working a swatch, so yours is going to be much longer. Now, if you added length, you may have a lot more shell stitches. And it doesn't matter if your last chain one space is a shell stitch or a single crochet. You're going to stitch that in the last chain one space and then single crochet in the last single crochet. All right, and so that's the way that it should look. We'll cut a long tail of yarn and tie that off. All right, now again, this is just a swatch, so it's a lot shorter, but that's the way all 4 rows should look. Isn't that pretty? So once you've completed all 4 rows, you're going to have 2 sets of 4 strands at the end. All right, and so all you're going to do on both ends is gather that up, take those and tie a knot. And it's going to resemble a tassel or a tassel. My grandmother always said tassel. And you want that knot to try to be as close to the end of the scarf as possible. And then it's up to you how long you want to cut your strands. Just short, long, however you want to do that. And then do that on the other end as well. And that will give you a tassel on each end. And then take the 2 to make sure you're cutting them even. There we go. And now we have a tassel on each end of our skinny scarf. You could add beads to that or buttons or just leave it plain. I love it. I think that tassels are super fun. So isn't that a super fun project? It's a great way to use up leftover yarns, make lots of different colors, use striping yarns, ombres, whatever you want to do, and these fun little, I call them pretend tassels, look super fun and add a flair of fun to your pop of color skinny scarf.